Hi, it's Ethnicgreenliving here, and I'm so excited to be back with you another week as we talk about the book Uninvited by Lisa TerKeurst. This is week 8. Can you believe we've been doing this for 8 weeks now? Thank you guys so much, those of you that are sticking with me, and to all the returning people, hello. There is a playlist, and I have the link in the description box so you can catch up on everything. If you're late and coming in, it's okay. This week we are talking about the corrective experience. And this was a really good chapter. I like that. One of the things she said is relationships don't come in packages of perfection. Relationships come in packages of potential. I thought that was good. But what I really want to get into is back to my girl Abigail. We kind of talked about her last week, and you guys know I like Abigail. And so Lisa's kind of sharing a story with us of a lady basically told her she no longer wanted to work with her, and her feelings on it, and how she could have done things a little different possibly, and just different ways of talking with people and some things that she learned from that experience. So I'm going to jump in with Me Too puts us on the same team. It says we are together. So let's attack the problem, not each other. Abigail is such a good example of a Me Too done right. In 1 Samuel 25, she was brilliant in her approach with David. She acknowledged right away that her husband had acted foolishly toward him, but the way she did it let David know that Abigail was also a victim of Nabal's foolishness too. She said, "His name is Fool, and folly goes with him everywhere that he goes." This was Abigail's Me Too statement. Although she didn't use the words Me Too, she certainly used the sentiments of this powerful two-word statement. By stating that folly goes with him wherever Nabal goes, she made it clear that his foolishness wasn't just directed at David, no, but it actually flowed in every direction of his life, and it impacted everyone with whom he interacted. And by everywhere, she clearly meant in his home and with her specifically. A woman's eyes often hold conversations within her stare. And Lisa said she imagined Abigail's eyes communicating some of these statements. He treated you poorly, David? Me too, I understand. He didn't think about caring for you, David? Me too, I understand. He didn't appreciate what you had done for him, David? Me too, I understand. Acceptance is like an antibiotic that prevents past rejection from turning into present-day infections. I thought that was good. Nabal's dismissal of David conveyed, "You are not known. You do not belong. You are not important. You're not valuable, and you're not secure." David was denied the equivalent of a hamburger and water, and he's ready to kill over that. But it really wasn't about the food. Nabal's words struck an existing... So this week, what I want to do is give you a question now. What existing wounds do we have? It may be one, maybe two. Let's stick with one or two. There is still the youngest, Jesse answered, but he is tending the sheep. David's father inflicted a mark on his heart that read, "You don't belong. You don't matter as much as your brothers. You aren't important enough to be remembered. You're not valuable enough to be considered. You're not secure with this family who disregards you." Isn't it crazy that on the same day that David achieved the ultimate success to being named the future king, he was overlooked by his father? No amount of outside achievement fixes inside hurts. And so, question number 2. What hurts do we have that needs to be fixed, that we need to work on? Those hurts have to be soothed by replacing the lies with the truth. The sweet harmony of healing came through Abigail. She reinstated a feeling of belonging in David. Her words were gentle, honoring, and life-giving, and most of all, they were filled with God's truth. Third question, how are your words? Are they sweet words that bring about a healing? Do they have a harmony with it? Are they gentle, honoring, and life-giving? or are they mean and harsh? When people leave you, do they leave sad, depressed, and discouraged? Or do you encourage and inspire all that come within your presence? David was a man who belonged to God, and Abigail spoke to who he was, not to how he was acting at the moment. Got another question for you this week. We're doing things a little bit different. Do we speak to who people are, or do we speak to how they are in the moment? That's really good, especially for me personally. So let me say what Abigail said. Let me show you how she soothed the deep wound that Nabal had reopened in David's life. She said, "You are a fighter of the Lord's battles. You are known, you matter to the Lord. The Lord has a plan for your dynasty to last. You are important. Someone is pursuing you to take your life, but God has a plan to keep you safe. You are valuable. Remember what God did when you hurled that stone from the pocket of a slain toward Goliath? God was faithful that day, and He is faithful this day too. You are secure." You see how she soothed those wounds? With divinely inspired words, Abigail spoke life into David. Another question. Who's speaking into your ears? Are they speaking life, or are they speaking death? Be careful who you let into your circle. Be careful who you let speak into your life. And lastly, I just want you to reflect on this week about your past rejection experiences. I want you to think about how you can let these experiences work for you instead of against you. I want you to reflect about how you can help other people based upon your rejections. Maybe you can identify with their hurt. See, we all have something that's going on in our life. And that's your me too. So I really hope that you guys like this week. This week I had a lot of questions for you. This is a really good chapter. And to be honest, you guys hear Lonnie? For those of you who knew, she's the youngest of 5. She's my first girl after 4 boys. Lonnie's saying hi to all of our friends. But I think most of you guys know that every time I have a moment, I go back to chapter 6. Bitterness, resentment, and anger have no place in a heart as beautiful as yours. That thing is giving me life. So let me have your ear right now so I can speak life into you. Bitterness, resentment. You gonna help me? And anger have no place in a heart as beautiful as yours. Thank you guys for joining me for another week as we kind of dissect this book, Uninvited. Again, thank you, and until next time, blessings.